Yeah, all right, so I have a few bobber types here. This is a weighted wobble bobber. This is a slip bobber. This is actually the Phil Pro, has a brass thing at the top. This is a smaller one. And then we have the classic round bobber right here. And then a weighted foam bobber. So we're gonna go take this out around a known bluegill area, take these out, see which one does best. Have a bunch of fishing poles lined up, and I'll put all of these on and see how it goes. I'll be using the same hooks for this test. I think they're number 8s, and that way the hook won't be the factor. All right, I'm here at Alum Creek Reservoir to test several different bobber types, and you can see the water level is high. And this just happened over the weekend because it was way low just on Friday. So let's go check it out. Yep, this is where you have to walk to get to the boat dock. So I have a kayak, which I can launch from right there. But look at that one. They're all underwater. Yep. And as you can see, I'm launching here from the Cheshire boat ramp. There's a little cove that goes back there, and then there's a pipe that goes under, which you can only get through when it's deeper like this. So last week I would have had to launch somewhere else, but. Now I'm going to a spot that I know produces panfish. It's a beaver dam, and they always have little fish hiding in it. So that way I can get reputable tests versus just running along the coast and fishing different areas. There is a down tree up here that I'll probably try, but after we go to the dam first. I like on the windier days like this too, fishing in the cove, because the waves can get kind of big out on the open reservoir. And the only time I've ever been capsized in this kayak, pretty big waves. I had anchored down and the kayak was sideways. Ended up spending 45 minutes paddling back to shore, 45-degree water, 45 degrees outside, and very windy. I'm pretty sure I had hypothermia. That was a dangerous day. Lost a fishing pole. Now, it's still early in the spring. We had frost last night, so there's not very many spider webs in this tunnel yet, but in the summer, the whole top is covered with spiders, and yeah. And the water level will get even higher than this. Took my bass boat through here once, freaked my family out. We had to duck all the way down to get the boat to fit. Before we get going, I wanted to talk setup, because getting a bobber on the line is very important, and easier setup is better than harder setup. So I'm going to start here with this foam stopper, which is you just clamp it on the bottom and then clamp it on the top, and so usually one-handed operation. This spring force was really tight, hard to get it under here, but still much faster than a slip bobber because there's nothing else you have to attach to the line. I like that it's weighted here on the bottom. I don't have to add a second weight, or I can add a much lighter split shot down here for the hook. So out of 5, I'm going to give this one a 4. This is one slip bobber. This is a Carlisle. You can see it has a plastic insert there which keeps the line from cutting in. You have to put a bobber stop on like this, so that's the first thing. And then you actually don't need a bead for this one because the hole size is good, but I have a bead on here that stops it. That stops it right there. Then a little heavier on the split shot, and then I have the hook on the bottom. 1 out of 5, from 1 to 5 for setup. I would give this one probably a 3 because it was easy to feed the line through. This wobble here by Phil, which supposedly is the best casting, I don't know. This thing was horrible to set up. I do like that it has the brass guide at the top, but man, this is only 4-pound fluoro. You can't even barely see it in the video. Impossible to feed it through here. It kept getting stuck on the brass grommet. I ended up feeding a 30-pound monofilament through, tying it and then pulling it. This is a 1 out of 5 on initial setup, no question. And then this is a Pro fill. This is a thin one. It has the brass guide too. And this is also 4-pound test, but it actually went through nice and easy. You can see bobber stop. I have a bobber stop right there. So this is probably a 2 out of 5. And then the last one, the typical red bobber. This is as easy as it gets. I mean, you just clip it on the bottom. I don't have a pole set up for it yet. Clip it on the top. You can see I can depress it very easily with one hand. So this is going to get a 5 out of 5 for initial setup. You can't beat this for initial setup. Look at this nice little present someone left on a tree. Bunch of turtles on the log. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pretty cool, getting sun. The biggest one looks like its carapace is, I don't know, maybe 12, 13 inches. Pretty cool. Well, you can tell I fished this spot a couple times. Look at all my kayak trails. All right, there's the beaver dam. And man, the beavers around here, they chew all kinds of trees down. But that's a really nice place for panfish to hide. So we're just gonna chuck the bobber. First thing I'm gonna check is castability. Now, crappie are kind of jittery fish, so you want to be able to throw it from far away. Now if you look, this water's kind of turbid right now. You get a couple feet of visibility, so I don't have to be too far, but it's nice to be able to cast, you know, 40, 50 feet. Which that one went. Oh, fish on it. They're biting immediately. That bobber, visibility, I'll put it a 2 out of 5. Castability, I give it a 3 out of 5. It goes not too bad. Fish on. This one's running. Quick little booger. And you can see on the ultralight it's tugging. Let's see what we got. That's stronger, definitely bigger than the last one. I think, oh, it's still on. Maybe a bass. Pulling the drag out. Pulling the kayak too. Haven't seen it yet, don't know. Oh man, he's running with the drag. Fun on this ultralight. What is it? Catfish, I think. He got me soaked. Man, he's fighting really well. This is only 4-pound test, so I had to be careful. He is just pulling my kayak. Yeah, good sized catfish. Good sized catfish. I mean, for getting it on a minnow. Yeah. That's just a nice fish right there. 21-inch channel cat. Chunky, man. I wish I could eat this, but I don't feel like cleaning fish today. Pulled in a, I don't know, 3 or 4 pound channel cat, 21 inches. That's fun. All right, so next we're gonna go castability of the wobble, which is supposedly the best. I haven't fished with one of these yet, so we'll see how it does. I'll put a minnow on it, just like I did the other one. Light rod, 5/6 light rod. So I'm much further away than I was with that last rod. Let's see if we can get it to the dam. Holy cow, yes. This thing can cast like a champion. I barely threw that and almost went too far. Yeah, I like this a lot. Castability on the wobble is a 5 out of 5. No question. That is phenomenal. I'm gonna reel it back in just so I can cast it again. That felt so good. A lot of times with bobbers, you feel like you have to chuck it so hard, but this one was just a wrist flick. Let me adjust this weight real quick. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm in love. I think as far as casting, that's definitely the best bobber I've ever cast. Easily lives up to its reputation. Visibility, brilliant. I wish the top was yellow. I don't really care for the orange being the visible part. The yellow's on the bottom. I'm not sure why they do that, but the bottom's weighted and the visibility is really good. The weak link is my reel. Okay, so I got a bite and I didn't even know it. With this bobber, maybe that's not the best. Okay, somehow this tied itself in a knot when I cast it. This was the biggest pain in the butt bobber to set up because of that misalignment on the... I don't even want to redo it. But you can cast it so easily. Okay, I managed to keep the bobber on. All right, casting of the classic red bobber. Little better than that little sponge thing. So definitely a 2, maybe a 3. But I have it set pretty short, like 2 feet. Visibility, pretty good. I mean, I can see that white with the red top pretty easily. Sitting kind of low in the water compared to the other bobbers. Well, except the last one. But in wavier, may be tricky to see, but this water's completely flat. I had a fish on the bobber, but he let go. That was the first bite with the classic one. Bobber's not sitting upright. I don't know why. The wind has stopped blowing. Something's biting. Moving the bobber. I think he feels it. Ah. A second fish I lost. This thing, because of its shape, the circle, it doesn't go underwater easily and the fish can feel it. Right now I'm not a big fan of this classic bobber. It doesn't cast well, it doesn't adjust well. The only thing it does well is get on the line first, easily. That fish took it and then let go when he felt the tug. Darn it. That's the third missed fish. I'm putting this thing away. I'm not here to give minnows away. Is it any surprise I'm going back to the wobble? This thing was great. Yeah, check out this chewed up beaver log. I mean, you can see definitely not an axe with their teeth. Crazy. Okay, so in 5th place we have the classic red and white bobber. In 4th we have the weighted foam. In 3rd we have the small Thill Pro series. In 2nd place the large one, the Carlisle or the Thill, and then 1st place, man, I'm so glad I tried it, is that wobble bobber. That thing is incredible. They're $3 each, $2.94 at Walmart. You can get the foam ones, 2 for $1.27, and the classic whites and red are dirt cheap. But when catching the fish is important, castability is important, visibility is important, and I'm gonna go with the Thill Wobble every time.